quick-ish video on the water that we squeezed out of the potatoes from the potato Rosti thing that I did. And I squeezed all the water out and I saved it. And I was just, there is, what happens in the bottom of the, when it settles, this is water, the juice, the potato juice, around the potato water. So as you squeeze it, you get starch coming out of the potato as well. Cooker's not particularly clean, I know. And you can use that starch to thicken things, like soups, like corn flour. You can just buy potato starch to thicken things, but I was just kind of curious if we could just heat it up, and what would it do to the, what would happen? Would it thicken up the water that we squeezed out of the potatoes? Just out of curiosity. What will happen? Will it turn into some kind of gloopy mess? I thought, well, we've got it. I was going to do it last time, but I forgot. Or maybe I just couldn't be bothered and I threw it away. So I just thought this time what we'll do is we will heat up the water and we'll see what happens. Looks like it's wanting to catch on the bottom of the pan. I need something that's just been washed up. So we just need to put that over there. And I don't want to get into the corners of the pan. Oh, it's already started to thicken up, I think. Maybe I should have given it a better mix before I started. Yeah, so all the potato starch wants to settle to the bottom, and then the water's on top. But I just kind of thought we'll give it a heat up, and we'll see what happens to it. The water's gone a little bit brown because it's the water from the potatoes, and it's oxidised. Like when you bite into when you cut into a potato, and if you leave it uncovered, they want to start going brown. Yes, it looks like it's taken up. And there you go, look at that. That's thickened up nicely. Turn that down. Look at that! Look how that's thickened up. That's quite remarkable. Just switch over to a whisk. Look how thick that is. I mean, you could save it and you could put it in a soup. You could let it settle and collect pour the water off the top and then dry out the potato starch underneath, and then use it as a corn flour. If you wanted to be really frugal with food, that's what you could do. But that's kind of quite interesting, isn't it? What does it taste like? Not bad, actually. Not bad. It's not bad. If you were making a soup, you could put that in the soup and you wouldn't taste it. It would just thicken the soup. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll put it on a plate. We'll let it go cold, and then we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Look at that. That's kind of quite interesting. I mean, it's just, you get the same thing with if I'd used corn flour and water. But if you're wanting to really count your pennies, which isn't a bad thing, I really don't like waste. But there we go. We'll see how that looks tomorrow. We'll cool it down, put it in the fridge, and we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. And then, just out of curiosity, bit of a faff. There you go. Potato starch, cooled in the fridge overnight. You could just use that as corn flour. You could make your white sauces out of that. How does it taste like cold? Can't imagine it'll taste potatoey. Tastes like nothing, really. I think, yeah, it's a useful thing. Certainly, if you wanted to make your own corn flour, well, like corn flour type thing, you could grate potatoes and squeeze the starch out of them, and then you can thicken up your sauce with that, if you were wanting to. I suppose you could do it with clean potato peelings. So if you had potato peelings that were clean, you could then potato peelings, put them in a blender with some water, and you could extract the starch out of them like that. It's like starchy flour. Yeah, so I think maybe we'll have a go at that. But you could do that. Maybe that's something for the future when I've got nothing to do. I'm a bit bored. But anyway, there we go.